Rustic's Daily Art. Today we'll be starting a new painting. I put a little bit of thought into what I wanted to do, and I think I did this character a while ago. I put it up on my social medias. This is way back before I started streaming, actually. Where's the final version? Right here. This guy right here. I want to do him in a full splash art. So I'm just gonna keep. I'll probably just bring him over here to my second monitor, so that I have some form of a reference to look off of. And I'm gonna begin with some thumbnailing. I have two viewers. Welcome to the stream. We are just starting out with a new painting. I have him on my second monitor, but we're painting this guy in a scene, like a splash scene. So I'm going to start by just darkening up the background. Makes it a little easier on the eyes. Hold on. Alright, so I'm going to begin with some general thumbnailing. I like starting small. It's a good tip to do. And I like just having a nice little rectangle for my border, so that I don't. The rectangle for your border, it doesn't have to be your actual boundaries, because you can always draw outside of it. Drawing outside the lines is important in the early thumbnailing stage. That way you can just kind of like get a feel for what you want to go for. So, our character here, I'll bring him back over real quick. Our character here is what I call them. I call them an otaku or a weeaboo in the suit, because he's got the katana and he's in a fancy suit. He's got the anime hair. And I'm just trying to think of what kind of scene he would be in that would make him look cool. And my first idea is to have him with the sword out, with both hands on it in front of him in a cool stance. So I'm gonna make my brush smaller, and I'm just gonna start filling. I'm just gonna start. I should honestly have a reference image. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna have to get a reference image real quick for a pose. And this will be an important lesson for anybody watching. So I'm just gonna open up my browser. I'll bring it over here so you guys can see how I gather my references. It's honestly pretty simple. I just typically go to Google. I'm gonna go to my image searches. Search Google. And we're gonna search up. I'm gonna start with searching neat action poses. Having a pose reference, especially one from real life, is really good. I'm gonna add with sword. These are some neat drawn ones. I like this one in the bottom right, where he has the sword in the back and he has his arm forward, his free arm forward. I really like that. And I like this one in the top that my cursor's on. But I also would like some real world references. If I can't find any though that are gonna do me any good, I will stick to the one that I was showing you before. So I'm just kind of perusing Google Images. I think I'm just gonna use this as my reference. I just copy with the Photoshop. I'm gonna paste it in, and I'm just gonna size it down, bring it over to the corner here. And I'm actually going to take a moment to just study this pose here and practice it over on the side. This could be a good lesson for drawing poses. I said it once already, I'll say it again. Always try to prioritize real people because they are better. But if you can't find a specific pose you want, you can either A, take a picture, but I was kind of strapped for time, so I couldn't get the chance to do it. And B, well, I don't think there was a B. Anyway, what I was saying was, always try to go for real life references. If you can't find one, you can use a drawing, like how I'm using. Credits to whoever drew these. I definitely didn't draw those. Those are some really nice poses. Drawing poses and characters in general is something that I struggle with, but I find a lot of fun, so I do it anyway. When it comes to drawing poses too, when you're drawing from life drawing, which is a very important thing for you to do, when drawing from life drawing references or like just doing normal life drawing, always I forget where I was going with that because I got too focused on the drawing. I'm pretty flighty. It'll happen. Yeah, this leg over here looks a little weird, but so far this isn't going too bad. Just gonna bring it over so I can have more room to draw. Yeah, spend a lot of time studying how your model works, how your model's legs are like. Look for like flow lines. Like a flow line would be like your line of action here that I drew in the middle. It kind of gives you the general pose. try to draw what you see too, because a lot of people, including myself, have this like predisposition where that's the right word to use in this scenario, I'm pretty sure, have this like thing where they believe that they know what they're drawing already in their heads, and they just kind of fill in blanks without looking at the model, using what they think they know. And it's nice to have like a general idea for your structure and all that jazz. However, it's also a good idea to just keep looking at your reference, because even if you think it looks wrong to you, and you're gonna fill in the blanks with what you know, organic life is unpredictable. It follows a small set of rules, but for the most part, it kind of just does what it wants. Because organic life is never the same. People don't look the same, so people are always going to have different things about them. For this case, I might just do a bit of break that rule a bit, just for dramatic reasons. Okay, yeah. I'm also can bend the rules a bit, because I'm already bending the rules, but I'm kind of using a drawing reference, which is something you probably shouldn't do. Something you shouldn't do unless you absolutely have to. I'm thinking for variation purposes, and just because I'm starting to like brainstorm my own way around this, I'm going to just kind of whoops, I kind of erased the sword there. That's fine, we're done with that image soon anyway. And I'm just kind of like filling in where I think specific parts should go. I know I drew a thumbnail over there, like a thumbnail, but this thumbnail is actually going pretty well. I'm just gonna continue on with this. I'm just gonna keep building up an idea from here. I should probably do a little bit of explanation as to what a splash art is. Splash art is basically just a flavor image that kind of like shows off your character doing something cool. I don't have a name for my character that I am doing now. However, I will at some point, but he's technically my first OC. Don't get too like upset if the thumbnail doesn't like completely do what you have in mind justice, because this is just your rough. You're just trying to like get an idea for what you want to do. So, for example, I'm just kind of like. Bring up his anime hair. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna do like a really in-depth facial expression. I'm just gonna do something simple, just to try to convey what kind of character I want him to have. There we go. Got him give him a confident look. Just an announcement, I have my YouTube channel up for anybody who's interested in going to take a look at that. I have the first 4 episodes of the stream up on YouTube. Pardon me, just taking a drink. Talking makes my throat dry. I'm just gonna shade in certain parts of the thing, of the character. And I'm just gonna take him and lasso tool him and him only onto a new layer, and I'm just gonna layer via cut so I can hide this layer, and I can bring him up like that, and we're just gonna build off of a thumbnail from here. Control J to create a save state for our layer. And I'm just going to draw a box around him so I can just start figuring out some background elements. Just going to check something real quick. I'm just gonna apply some shading to him so that he can be set apart from the background. I'm just making my brush a little bigger. I'm just gonna fill in these shoes with some dark. There we go. I want to do probably like 3 or 4 thumbnails before I pick one to like take into the next stage. Never fall in love with your first idea. I think I've said this a couple times already, but never fall in love with your first idea, especially if you're a professional, because you may draw something really nice or like do something really nice depending on what kind of field you work in, like what department you work in, and you take it up to your director, your boss, and show him. He just looks at it like, I don't like this, do it over. And that comes with the fact that you have to have thick skin to be an artist, and you have to be able to have an unbiased opinion about anything that you draw. You may draw something and think, oh, that's really cool, but your director could be like, can you do something different? And you kind of got to agree because he's your boss. It isn't to say that you can't like it. It's just you gotta be able to have multiple ideas and not just stick with this one. It's never a good idea to do that. I'm gonna bring these eyes up a bit. They're a little low on his face. There we go. Now I have to figure out some background elements. Thinking of just doing kind of like some buildings. Maybe like a city scene. Just fill it in with some shapes for buildings. Take a lighter gray to fill those in. I might just do a bit of a darker for the road to separate it from anything else. I like the pose, but I'm not sure I like the background anymore. Gonna be completely honest. But I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. Because I can build upon that later. So this is what I'm going to call thumbnail A. And I'm just going to call the layer thumb A. I'm going to keep that pose sheet actually, and I'm going to actually delete that. And I'm going to turn off thumb A as a layer. And I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to bring it above thumb A. So it's my first layer I'm working on. And I like this pose here. And I like this pose here. I think I'm going to try with maybe this one first. Gonna take a moment to do a bit of advertisement. My links to my social medias are below the stream. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, ArtStation, Tumblr, and subscribe to my YouTube channel where I'll be posting this and every stream I put up as an episode of Rustic's Daily Art. Yes. A bit of a tongue twister. I'm also a bit tired. Life hasn't really been the kindest to me this week. But that's okay. Because there's always going to be good times and there's going to be bad times, and you just gotta keep rolling with it. You just can't let the bad times win. So, I'm just gonna sketch out. There is some sounds being made in the other room next to me. Oh, I'd hit my hand off my face too. I'm gonna bring that arm down a bit. I drew it a bit too high up. I'm gonna just make this a little less muddy. Draw that hand in. I'm gonna draw the hand down a bit. So draw draw a bit of sword on here now. I'm just really quickly filling in various elements. That's a bit of a lackluster sketch. I could probably try to fulfill that pose a little better. So I'm actually gonna lighten it down. Sometimes drawing lighter helps me focus more on shapes, as well as drawing with a thicker brush. That way you're just drawing with broader strokes, and it's kind of forcing you to get out of that comfort zone. I'm just going to check my task manager to see. Oh my god. 96% RAM being used. I talked to you guys a lot about memory issues. Every computer has their limits. Don't try to do anything too crazy if your computer can't handle it. See, I'm going back down now in my memory usage. I like teaching you guys a little bit of problem solving because it's an important thing to being a digital artist is knowing how to problem solve and knowing how to use computers in a effective manner. Zoom out. One thing that I learned recently is that Photoshop actually, if it crashes, will actually auto reload and recover and whatever you're working on if it wasn't saved. I learned that yesterday when my stream crashed. The footage was deleted, but yeah, yesterday was a bit of a rough day for me. That leg is extended out way too far. I'm just gonna Control T it. Control T is to transform. And let's bring it. And eraser tool to the rescue. I'm actually gonna take some time to practice drawing anatomy better so I can do some give you guys better tips on anatomy. Cause I'm always looking to get better and I'm always looking to improve. Not even for the streams or just for myself, just to get better as an artist. Yeah, see, this pose is already stronger than my previous thing, but that's okay because mistakes are just opportunities to learn from. So if you make a mistake, don't get too upset. Whether it would be a mistake at something in life, something that you're drawing, something that you're doing. Nobody's perfect. And mistakes are just opportunities to learn from. That'll do for the leg for now. And I'm just going to turn that layer off for a sec so that I can get a full, so I don't have it muddy up my pose. Have the sleeve rolled up. My character has his sleeve rolled up in my little sketch I did of him a while back. And now to fill in the head. So this is my second thumbnail. Just really rough. Like I said, don't get too intact with your details. just try to convey the character and pose. And I'm going to control T, not in that way. I'm going to control T, just bring it down a bit, turn on my other thumbnail so I can just have a general. I noticed that I was going to do 3, but I think out of these 2, I really have already picked one that I really want to do, and my heart's kind of like set on now. And that would be A. So I'm just kind of like gonna put this as B, and we'll call it thumb B. And I might actually finish it out so I don't like, because I might come up with a cool idea for a background. Getting some borders up. If he's in a suit, he's probably going to be in a city setting. That's pretty much the obvious. So maybe, like, do. I actually don't know. I might. Yeah, I think for the most part, I'm gonna go with thumbnail A. I think my heart's kind of set on doing A as a drawing. So I'm just gonna actually move these down below. What is layer 4? I don't know. Oh, I know what that is. I'm gonna make this a little less dark, and I'm gonna start roughing. Like with the first painting we did, the Candy Crusher. Your thumbnail isn't your rough. Your thumbnail is just an idea. So never like look at your rough. Your thumbnails are rough. Because I'm gonna just start doing a rough now, and then I'm gonna build upon that rough with the eraser tool, and just kind of like get the final liner out of the rough. So I'm just gonna zoom in, start filling out some stuff. Gonna thicken out my brush so I can get some nice thicker lines. And there's not gonna be a lot of wrinkles on this pant leg here, because his leg stretched out pretty far. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this so far, and I can't wait to see how it goes. How it turns out. That might actually be a bit thick for a leg. But we'll roll with it for now just to see how the other leg, how the general legs in general just look after all of this. This layer is going to have a bit more wrinkle, but we can work on wrinkles later on. Yeah, this is looking okay so far. I'm liking this. I'm having a lot of fun with this. With roughing this Candy Crusher. I'm still thinking about the Candy Crusher. This otaku in this suit. This sword boy. I like swords. I like melee weaponry a lot. Not just because it's easy to draw and easier to draw than guns. Just because I think swords are cool. Swords are pretty rad. I'm just putting some thought into how this coat is going to flow out. It might... I don't know if it'll come out on this side, honestly. It might actually... all flow into the back here. And this will have some wrinkles in it, so it's gonna draw some baseline wrinkles. I'm just kind of drawing off the thumbnail, but at the same time trying to think a little bit more about where certain elements would go. I'm just going to pull a little bit of straights and curves with this forearm here. There we go. That actually looks better. We can just leave that for now and fill it out later when we go to refine. Ooh, by itself it's starting to look really good. We'll just draw a rectangle for the hands for now. I'm going to, when we get into the hands, I'm going to actually pull up some reference that we can look at. I've probably taught you guys a lot about using references. It's very important, honestly. Both the real world and like hand-drawn references. We're going to look very hard for some real-life references, so I can just show you guys that life drawing and looking at like still life and doing still life, like putting it into practice, is a lot better than just looking at someone's drawing, because then you get this dysphoria of I could do that and do it better if you look at someone else's drawing, or like do it and try to get it picture perfect, and then you can't, because everybody's their own artist. Yeah, we're just gonna, I'm just making noise. I'm just gonna move the head so that it's more facing upward and downward. We'll save facial expressions for the end. I'm just gonna fill it in with another cool one. With another simple one, not cool one. Mind my rambling. Sometimes I just say words. Make the brush size a bit bigger. There we go. That's a good rough to play from. And we can take this rough and start refining it. I'm not going to create a new layer, actually. I'm going to Control J this layer so we have a base save that we can use. And now I'm just going to take my eraser tool and I'm just going to start playing with folds and wrinkles. Whoops. My next thing I'm looking into getting for like social media, it's not really social media, but like something that I'm gonna sign up for just to make the streams a little better, is a Spotify, so I can stream music. And I have an I noticed that Twitch has an extension for Spotify that can show you what we're listening to, and I think that would be really nice, really useful to have. I think music would make the stream feel a little more welcoming for like people who just kind of like stumble upon the stream. I apologize if you can hear my roommate's talking outside my room. I believe that they are doing some chores. And I can use streaming as an excuse to get out of it. Haha. Actually, no. They know that I stream at 6 and I go till 8, so. Yeah. Come catch streams every day at 6 till 5. Putting a little bit of advertisement in, because I can. I'm trying to make this into, not my career, but I'm trying to make this into like a side project that I can do that will help forward my full career of like trying to become like a full-on splash artist, concept artist. Follow your dreams, because I am. It's hard sometimes, I know, but if you keep working at it, the payoff will be amazing. You'll have it'll be really good. Like I said, this week hasn't been good to me, and I know that everybody has bad weeks, but you can do it, and not everybody has to have it all figured out 100% right now. Just because people say that's the case, you can be a little lost. It's your journey. Your learning experience. Don't let people ruin it for you. Ruin your experience of this journey called life. That's a bit of a tip I like to give out. Don't try to be anybody you're not. I can just keep giving out life advice as I draw. That'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing to do. But then I might have my own existential crisis. That's about as refined as I was going to get for now, I think. Yeah, that's about as refined as that belt and this shirt area are going to get for now. I think that lower leg on this plate that I'm refining might be a tad short. So I think I'm just gonna lengthen it and bring it back just a bit. Actually, good idea is to cheat a bit and use the lasso tool because it's there, and why not use it? Don't let anybody tell you that you're not a real artist using the lasso tool because they're wrong. If you've never used Photoshop before, this is a little tip. Control-Alt-Z is your undo for multiple undos. There we go, that's a little longer. That's a little better. I might keep playing with it, making it better later, but I don't want to get I don't want to get tunnel vision from it. I've talked about tunnel vision before, when you get too in depth with a certain thing and you make it look not the way you even intended it to. Taking a bit of a moment to look at my cellular device. There we go. Just having a little bit of some other life things going on right now. I'm trying to avoid using my media while I'm streaming or just drawing in general. I try to keep myself away from distractions. Because if I get distracted, and then I'm probably going to be, it would be like 100% done with whatever I was doing because I'd be distracted. But sometimes you can't help but looking at your phone because honestly, technology, we can't go back to the way it was before. We can't. If you want my honest opinion on how technology has become so ingrained in humanity. But that's not a bad thing either, because it's a really helpful tool. And it's just the course of evolution of just society and humanity in general. There we go. That's decent looking. Now, we are going to try to refine this arm a bit. the face on this right now looks so goofy. It's silly. Someday I'm probably gonna do a background. I think that's what I'll do after I'm done this painting. But I want to do a background. It's like a background centric drawing, painting. Yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. What time is it? We are at 7:04. We have an hour remaining on the stream. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying, because I sure am having a lot of fun. I'm just going to take a stretch break, and I'm also going to save real quick. Saving is always a good idea, because you never know what can happen with how fickle technology can be. I'm going to call it Otaku Splash. So now that that's saved, I'm just gonna go back to refining. One thing I want to do that might have caught people off guard, but one thing I want to do is I want to do a shout out to my mom today, because it is her birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. If you're not watching now, you'll be watching on YouTube. So happy birthday to my mom. My mom Dale. She has been a wonderful mom and a wonderful support for this whole enterprise of me starting this whole channel and starting this show. She's a wonderful, wonderful parent. I've had a lot of. She has been one of my biggest supports, both growing up and starting this, and giving me the motivation to keep going. So yeah, happy birthday. I think if I gave her age out, I think she'd probably drive all the way to Fullerton just to tell me to my face that you're supposed to lie. That's like her like thing, is she's supposed to lie about her age. It's a nice little funny thing she does. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Mom. Happy birthday. Photoshop is being a douche to me right now. I think what I don't like about that foot over here is how deep this foot is, and Photoshop's starting to like be a little laggy, so I'm going to check my memory usage. Only 70% memory at use right now, better than the 90 something we had earlier. So I'm just gonna lock all of my old. Oh, just because they're invisible, they can't be locked. So I'll just keep drawing. So I'm just gonna keep doing some like refining and some sculpting out of this rough sketch here. And then after I'm done refining, I'm gonna play around with some anatomy and making the anatomy better. Oh yeah, I put the Candy Crusher up on my ArtStation, which is linked down below if you would care to check it out. I'm gonna save the hands for later. I might save the hands for the next episode, so I can do a bit of a hand drawing lesson. Not even a lesson, just like talk about drawing hands, because hands are one of the hardest things to draw, along with feet. So, besides Spotify, the next thing I'm thinking about getting set up is a Patreon. However, that might not be into the distant future when I get a better following. Just because I want to have a Patreon if people are actually going to use it. And to do that, you kind of gotta get a following. And I'm still a greenhorn. I'm still pretty new to this whole thing, and I kind of want to just prove my way in the whole drawing, well, in the whole streaming and being like an entertaining artist. That line's giving me some trouble. Okay. So that's our legs so far. I'm gonna take some time to think later about how that coat actually will like flow. I might actually get my roommates, who are also like pretty good artists, to critique this before tomorrow's episode, once this episode's done. I'm also thinking about cutting the stream off at 1.5 hours tonight instead of going to 8. Just so I can give my mom a phone call and wish her happy birthday. One thing I kind of want to do with this is make him a little bigger so it takes up more room on the page. Because you gotta, and I think I might bring him over to the side a bit so that he takes over. Because good old 3/4 theory. Character should take up the main focal point of your piece should take up at least 3/4 of the page, 3/4 of the screen. I kind of know why that face looks so goofy now. Because it's not lined up appropriately with the rest of the face. With the head. I'm thinking for the painting of this, when I get to it, probably like maybe in episode 3, however many episodes we do for this dude, which would be our episode 6, I think, for like the entirety of my show. Anyway, that's not important. What I was trying to say is, I think I might do like some more like cel shaded two-tone. I like that style a lot. I've been really enjoying these streams so far because they get me out and drawing every day. Because before this, I wasn't drawing every day, and it was starting to show that when I was drawing, I wasn't putting the practice in. But now this is like giving me an excuse to draw and giving me an excuse to keep practicing drawing and getting better at the whole drawing thing. However, I did draw my good old Otaku in a suit, which is on my ArtStation, and I was pretty proud of that. I should have streamed that because I drew that from a real life reference. Actually, that would have been an excellent stream to talk about drawing from real life references. And I could have talked about finding Muse too, because I found that image on Facebook actually. Well, peruse. I found an image of like a guy with a sword, and he was wearing a suit, and I was like, ooh, that's a cool pose, and that's a cool idea of a guy with like a suit. I kind of want to try to make a character inspired by that. I'm actually gonna play with this because actually, you know what? It's fine. I like it that way. It doesn't have to be exactly identical to my first sketch of the character. And if I do decide to change it later, I can. It's just now I want to focus on just making the rough not a rough anymore. So that we can move into doing some nice painting on it. I'm gonna have to take. Probably not even gonna bother with a background yet, just because I can't think. I'm trying to focus on the character more, so we'll focus on a background in a later episode. The face is throwing off this entire head and making it look so silly. But it's okay for now. It won't look like that at the end. So I think I'm actually gonna go full steam ahead to the full 2-hour episode, and then upload it to YouTube after, and then I'll just give my mom a phone call after the episode, because I don't want to sacrifice my time on stream. And it'll only be 8 p.m. My mom isn't one of those old people who... My mom isn't old, really. My mom isn't one of those old people who stays up and stays out for a long time. I'm rambling. Just don't mind me. What I was trying to say was, my mom isn't one of those moms who, one of those moms who goes to bed at an early time. She typically goes to bed at 11. Talking about my mom on an art stream, it's nice. Well, she is a great person. She's been a great mom. Maybe I'll have my mom on an episode sometime. And if I do an episode back at my parents' place. Because I do visit there quite frequently, too. Getting into a little bit of my life details. I think I am actually going to change the way that this looks. If anybody was wondering about what equipment I use to draw with when I'm drawing digitally, I use a Wacom Intuos pen tablet, pen touch medium. I'm hoping to upgrade to a Cintiq at some point because I feel like it would improve my art, my drawing skills digitally. However, I really like the fact that I don't have to bend over a tinier screen when I'm drawing. I can just keep my back straight and look at my computer monitor. My Photoshop doesn't like me right now much. I was trying to use the eraser tool and I was like, nah fam. Pencil tool. So I'm just gonna zoom out and take a look. Yeah, this isn't looking too bad. It's not looking too bad at all so far. It's currently 7:23 p.m. Good old New Brunswick, Canada, which is where your boy hails from. Don't come find me. Don't show up on my doorstep because I'll just close the door in your face. And that's a promise. I'm gonna spend some time doing some studying of some new techniques and some new drawing tips, because I want to learn so I can make both my drawings better and make my streams better and make it a better viewing experience for people who want to watch. I always strive to get better, and that's what everybody should do, especially artists, because you're a lifelong learner. I'm gonna throw the sword in there real quick too. That way we can complete the pose. Sword is not in its final shape or form. I'm still looking at this coat, and I don't think it looks just right. I think it would be a bit different looking. I'm just kind of like eyeballing and figuring out how exactly it would work. I think you might not even be able to see it at all on the other side, the more I think about it. I'm also thinking about trying other digital art softwares like Psy. Because Photoshop is nice and all. It's really nice. It's really good for professional work. However, the quality of my streams is going to go down if I keep drawing with Photoshop, I feel. Because Photoshop is a laggy son of a gun. Laggy piece of shite. And it eats up so much RAM because Adobe does not know how to optimize. And I don't really think they care, honestly. Adobe really isn't that friendly of a company. Yeah. I'm gonna look at getting some critique on this after the stream, so I can kind of like do some improvements in the next episode. Critiques and criticism is very important for artists. That's why you need kind of like a thick skin, because sometimes you'll be drawing something and somebody will be like, why did you draw it that way? I don't think it looks right. And you can either A, get defensive about it, or B, be like, oh, that's a nice tip, thank you. And if you decide, are like, oh, I did it that way because, as long as you're not being rude on either ends, criticism is an important part. And that goes for people giving criticism too, because you just can't look at somebody's art and say, I don't like it, it's garbage. Because that's rude. You gotta look at them and be like, okay. For example, if I were to critique this piece of art right here that I'm just got done drawing, that I'm working on right now, and I were to say, oh, I don't like the hair. I think it's trash. That's rude. But however, I could be like, oh, I don't like the hair because personally I feel it is too over the top and too anime. And then I could respond with either one or two options. The rude one could be, oh, well, screw you. I'm going to do it anyway because it's my work. And the polite one would be like, oh, I respect your opinion. However, I like it, so I'm going to keep going with it. And that's also an okay thing to do. Just what I'm trying to get past here is for when you're critiquing someone's work or like receiving critique, don't be rude about it, because it's an important part for growing as an artist. Just gonna clean out the sword hilt again.
You can buy bolts anywhere.
I think they're talking right outside my room, my roommates. I think they're talking about some video game. Probably World of Warcraft. I know they've been playing that a lot. They've been wanting me to play with them, but I'm not big on MMOs. My favorite game is, I like RPGs. I enjoy MOBAs, strangely enough. I enjoy League of Legends. I'm thinking about doing some League-related material sometime. Not playing, but like drawing League characters. I couldn't control my temper on stream if I was playing League. I think what's been making me like, I keep like looking at this and being like, oh, I don't like it. I think it's the face. I think I'm just gonna like erase the face for now, because it's throwing me off. It's making me not like the piece as much. Filling in that blade a bit. Hands, I do not like drawing hands, but it's gotta be done. I'm not trying to fill it in all the way yet. That'll be for later. I'll do all the intricate and hard stuff after I'm done the easy, simple stuff. Just so I can focus more time on it. Taking a stretch break. I make a lot of noises. Don't mind me. I'm gonna try using my good old lasso tool. To make enter and then control E. Look at my task manager. Just making sure I'm not like destroying my RAM chips. Besides the hands, I'm liking how this is turning out so far. I might... Nah. I was gonna say I might look at the coat a bit more, too. And I might actually, like, do that. Yeah. But I'm gonna do that after. It's a more intricate thing that I could do after. We are at 7:35 p.m. Atlantic time. We're almost out of time. I'm probably just gonna do some work on this shoe down here, and then we'll save. And I don't want to do anything else that's too in-depth or intricate until next episode, which will be tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6. And then we'll be doing a late night stream on Friday at 10. And I don't think I'll be doing... I think on my late night streams I'll just do fun things. Take requests and draw them. If there's people that are gonna be in the chat. Chat's been kind of quiet this episode. If not, I'll just draw silly things. Might do some Pokemon sketches. Do some fun stuff. Hopefully we can finish refining the character in our scene tomorrow. so I can move on to a background. But yeah, we accomplished some pretty good stuff so far. We got a thumbnail and from the thumbnail we got that. So we're off to a great start, I feel. I don't want to get into anything too much more. So I think we're gonna end the stream here. I had a lot of fun tonight. Tune in tomorrow for another great episode of RUSTIC'S Daily Art. Check out my social medias, links below the video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. Thinking about starting an Instagram. Follow me on ArtStation too if you have an ArtStation. If you have any other suggestions for what kind of social media platforms I should join, definitely message me, give me a recommendation. I always appreciate criticism, feedback, as long as it's not rude. I've already talked about rude criticism in today's stream. Yeah, I had a fun time. This is Bradley Palmer signing off from RUSTIC'S Daily Art, episode 5. Save in.